everybody, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back. My name is Evil Dragon XL. Joining me in this commentary box is the P4 man. It is Vetra666 who, of course, did so well only just over a week ago. Vetra, how are you, my good friend?
Yes, I'm doing fine. Hello, good to join the commentary again for GT3. Yeah, I've been returning to AOR for racing and I'm quite enjoying it.
Indeed, of course, you almost got a podium on your debut, but today, of course, we have more pressing issues. Of course, we did unfortunately have a few in-game technical issues last week. Of course, is the reason why there was no PS4 stream, because the game has had an update last week. Of course, it means you'd think the game is now slightly more, it's a little bit more, well, tame. It's a little less glitches. The broadcast features, I had a little look at them. They are a little more crisp, a little more fine, and they'll definitely be very good to see. But good circuit. We're in Belgium, of course. Round, of course, one of the most, one of my favourite tracks of all time is Zolder. What do you think of this track, Vetra? It's a great old circuit, isn't it?
I quite like the circuit. I don't really like the tight chicanes and the tight corners. I've had a few league races here once, and they've all not really gone well for me. But I quite enjoy it. I mean, it's if you get in a good groove and you have a good setup, it's quite an enjoyable track.
Indeed, a few people starting us at the lap time. Nick Nitro, there's Marcos. Now, rain is expected during the race. It is in our belief here. The forecast saying heavy rain could be on our way for the race. So that might have a little bit of drama to come. We'll get to the race. But right now, we have qualification on board with Barker heading downhill into this very much the famous chicane here, where you've seen plenty of accidents in real life here before. Through the chicane they go, and on the exit, building up that speed, second gear, building up into third, then up to fourth. And this is a little tricky right-hander up the hill, blind crest here as they come over the bridge. And then it's down to, I believe it is the Jackie X area, Jackie X chicane, I think. I think this is Jochen, let's look at this Jackie X curve, and I think it's Jochen Rindt chicane. Or the other way around. I know it is those last two corners there. So Barker, then he's coming down to the braking zone, then in his Scuderia Ferrari, and behind him there, that might be Dukes, I think, behind him as well. Through comes Barker out the last corner. Let's see what he can do. He's currently P12, not set a lap time. Comes to the line. Where does he go? I think it might be at least 7th or 6th. And it is a valid lap time.
No, it's 1 minute 50.4. Not a good lap time for him. But his teammate, currently, I mean, Nick Nitro.
Oh, he's off actually. And
he's off.
Yeah, he did just go off. He went straight into the last corner, straight on there. There goes
and who goes first?
Two Renaults flying through, running off the track. Goes one. That's is that Nezrin just behind him? I think it is.
Yeah,
yes,
Nezrin just went with the P3.
P3 for him. Great start there. Well, Nez 6 tenths off the pace. Great laps from your front two body. FSR as well. There are a total 5-6 tenths ahead of everyone else. Nezrin there in the pit lane. The camera comes into focus here. Let's get your comments down from the chat, by the way. Let's have a little look. Viewers are on board with flat out here into his copper, then through the last corner, tricky chicane, first gear, putting up the second, going backwards.
Who's the car going backwards?
He's going into the pit lane, that's Dukes. No, it's his teammate.
Or it's Fish?
No,
it's
who is it?
Who is it? Oh, Cox.
Good. Very strange. I think he spun at the last corner. Very strange to see. Gets us going back in the right direction. Kind of one there out the pump. He's going off the road. Kevin drop it there. There is Nezrin and his teammate who are currently inside each other there in the pit lane. There they are. Nezrin and of course that is yes, so second and fourth there. We say second and fifth, as I believe is that fifth header goes fourth. I believe it is. Yes, it is up to fourth position there for the Ferrari. Good to see a Ferrari resonance in the last few races. They've been struggling here today. Well, they've been struggling this whole season, but today, not struggling as much as they used to do. I remember only a few races ago what struggles they actually had to get those cars going so well.
None of the yellow Ferraris finished, I think, last race. It was Fish, Cox, and what's the third one? It must be Dukes. Yeah, Duke. Pretender goes up to first in his Ginetta.
Yeah, Pretender in the Ginetta. Well, what a surprise that is. I believe there's that David Ben just ahead of him, by the way. 2 tenths up. Pretender, out comes Barker in the background. Into turn number 1, though. Impressive. Most impressive for the Ginetta. As I say, it's a very much not a speed circuit. It's very much on the downforce. And this Ginetta is very downforce, you know. Superior downforce compared to some of the other cars. And, well, currently, P1 in the Ginetta. That is a shocker. In qualification here, there's only 6 minutes to go. Still, we might see updates, might see improvements. But what a surprise that was from Pretender.
Yeah, it's really impressive. I mean, of course, Ginetta on high-speed circuits, it doesn't really do well, but on this kind of circuit, it just pops out. And I mean, he's the only one in the Ginetta today, and it will be interesting to see in terms of race pace who is faster.
Indeed, it certainly will be. Good to see a few comments jumping in the chat, by the way, as David Ben comes through. That is turn number 2 and turn number 3 into that very much near. It's almost all full throttle nearly. About quarter to full. 25% normally into the first of 3 Forza games actually. This is the first one you'll go through. Very easy to do, of course. Bumping over the inside curve on the second part. Very easy up the hill then, over the climb. Down into the second chicane, of course, added in 1983 due to the incident in 1982, of course. David Ben comes on the exit and letting that speed up then. Now it's just a little tricky sequence here. This is one of the hardest corners on this track, in my opinion. Off camber, very much a camber corner, then up the hill, then down again into the very much even harder braking zone here. Downhill braking, rises up, bit of a bump there on the inside. I don't know what's out for that. Into what technically is the third chicane, if you count it as a chicane, or a little kind of a left into, of course, the last chicane. Then David Ben building that speed up, 125, 100 and about 100. Back down then, first gear, took the car in 50 miles an hour, build a speed back up then. Where does he go across the line? It looks a very decent lap in my opinion. Let's see, this could be good. This might put him right up the field. The answer to that is actually not. So I think he may have had that out.
Or it might be invalidated, or he might not have improved.
He looked very much like a good lap on our end. Good to see all 14 drivers still in the lobby, by the way. No disconnections as such. As Noah lights up those exhaustless, spitting flames here and going very sideways. That's what I was talking about.
Or is he? I think he's warming up the tires.
Yeah, warming up those tires. That looks extremely interesting. I don't imagine what the G-force is, but that looked like he was having an almighty accident there. See Daniel Farmer having a hyper energy drink in the chat, by the way. Of course, do get involved with acting, of course, AOR, hashtag AOR on Twitter, of course, as well, if you do want to. Of course, give us a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. As Noah across the line, he's P13, is what's he going to do then as he starts his lap. Let's ride on board with the BMW then, the M6, I think it is. Turn goes good in speed, bit of a slide there. Wants to run right up.
Dukes up to second, by the way. In the meantime, sorry to interrupt, but Dukes up to second.
37,000 off.
37,000 off.
But you know a little bit about this lap. Why don't you take over? Let's give you a little chance here. Talk us over this lap, Vetri.
We're not really good at this. Well, he's gone wide. Well, that's not going to be an improvement then. Alright, so this corner, really hard to spot the braking zone on some occasions. You have to take a lot of curve, not too much because you will bounce off. Over this crest, it's a bit blind, so really hard to overtake here. Now, into this corner, really easy to lock up. Into the first section and into the second. Also easy to lose the rear here because it's so undulating. Then this right-hander, pretty straightforward, nothing too serious about here. Going up to the gears, full throttle here. A really hard braking zone here, and you really have to choose the right turn-in angle. It's a bit too late for him. It's not going to be a good lap for him, unfortunately. Small crest, also not too serious. Then another really hard braking zone, And this is a good overtaking opportunity, but be mindful, if you take the inside here, it will take to the outside at the last corner.
Right, go to that speed. Thank you very much, Levetto. In the background there, is that, well, it's a Ferrari. I think it might be Barker there, I think it would be there in the background. I'm not too certain.
No, it's not. It might be Nick.
No, it's Jukes. No, it's Nick. It is Nick. I'm sorry, how dare it. Well, off.
Noah off.
Yeah, no, it did just go off there.
But look at the C. The BMW is struggling around this track. I mean, of course, we have said this. It's a downforce track, really twisty, and that's where the BMW doesn't really do very well.
It's very much. Oh dear, who's had off there? Was that Marcus that car that looked very destroyed there? Was that Marcus, Vetro?
He's going in the pits now. He's in the pits.
David Ben, that's like 5/10. Barker, where is he? He's somewhere off the circuit.
No improvement.
David Ben, big turn number 2. Got that speed up there. In the background, one of the Ferraris coming out there. I believe that might be Dukes coming out. It isn't going off the road actually there. There it is, Dukes. Has he kept it in the straight line? There he is.
Not Dukes.
Must be his teammate then.
It was Fish.
Oh, it'd be Cox.
No, it wasn't. It was Cox then.
Yeah. He hit the wall. He has hit the wall. There we go. So I thought he went up. Yeah,
out of the way.
Yeah, that car is in.
I must say, he's putting up an interesting show today. He's been driving backwards for a while, and now he is driving around in a heavily damaged car.
Indeed, very interesting to see there as Nick Nitro, new fast lap by the way, 58,000. Oh, and off goes in the background. Sorry, it was that Marcus who just spun again there in the pause. It's gone back to the pit then. I think it was. Yes, it is. You can see he's reset that. He just dropped it again.
Can to do anything about it?
See, across the line. Can he improve? He's got 38 seconds to go. No, he can't. Well, that's a surprise. He'll have another lap. No, he's not. No. He's not going to do it.
Is he giving up?
No, he's fuel. I don't think he has enough fuel. 1.8 litres. I don't think that's enough. That's a shame that Dukes. What can he do then? In that beautiful yellow and blue fire Ferrari. Let's see what he can do then. Coming through turn number 2 into turn number 3. Building that speed up 100 miles an hour. Chucks the car in. It wants to come around on the exit. It gets a bit of a wobble on. Now it's down to what is the first of 4 chicanes. And of course his first one, the oldest of them all. And he comes and he's given up.
He's given up.
Not.
His teammate then?
Yeah,
is he on the left?
I think he is. He's got a bit of traffic ahead of him, so that's going to hold him up. Let's see. He needs to find 2.5 temps. Let's see if he can do it through the last corner. Committed as always. Build speed out. Comes to the line. Now, is he going to jump that car up the front? Let's see. Across the line. He's dropped in at P1.
Yes,
he has gone fastest.
What a lap from him. Jumped up 3 tenths. And up to pole position he goes. Fluxpun is done with the qualifying. Buffon is or made a mistake or did something else. Out of fuel, 11.
Still going. Then
this one also finished. Marcus on the lap. I think he is.
Now let's see if he can jump that car from 12th up the field. Comes through the last few corners. David Bain just ahead of him in the good old orange, white and blue, the Rapper livery. David Ben across the line. Let's see if he can get the Audi up the front. Doesn't seem like he's gone and improved. No, he hasn't. What about Marcus? Can he improve? No, he cannot. So it looks like Fishhead has got provisional pole position unless anyone else is on a lap. We don't believe so. From Nick Nitro, Pretender in 3rd, Duke's 4th, Flat is 5th, with Booth in 6th as it stands right now. And off is gone Booth actually. He's popped it in the gravel there. That is second chicane, so he's spun that. He's kind of had to spun that there. There's no way can you, I don't believe, not have an incident there. So he has got to add the curb there as Fishhead, and that is FSR at the pit lane just went, I believe. There's around 2-1-0. So your official order here, qualifying is over. So your official order then of qualification: Fishhead, Nick Nitro, Pretender, Dukes, Flat, Booth, FSR, In 8th position is Barker David. Ben in 9th. Nezerin, a disappointing 10th for him. Robster 11th. Marcos 12th. Noah 13th. And Koch is 14th. I'd say that, Troy. You have to say, like, Fisher did put in a very impressive lap, but that midfield, Nick Nitro, Pretender and Dukes, all separated by just over 1/10 of a second. It's going to be extremely close in this race, isn't it?
I believe so, yes. And of course, we've got 3 great drivers at the top. We've got Fish, Nick and Pretender. Pretender went from 1st to 3rd in the closing stages of qualifying. He must feel really let down. I mean, he had a really good lap, but just overclassed a bit by the rest. And Nick Nitro's left the session. What's happened there?
Oh, he's rejoined. He's disconnected.
Oh no, from 2nd position. So Pretender up to 2nd.
This is absolutely remarkable.
He is disconnected from pole before, so this is. Well, it's saying he left, but it might just be a game crash or something, or just a disconnection.
Well, this is remarkable. That is the 4th time this season, I believe, and of course, technically 8 rounds. Of course, discount 1, it is 7 because of course we did miss the last race. Of course, in I believe it was Long Beach due to some issues. Of course, we did have the game updating there. That is the reason why we didn't have last round. But again, Nick Nitro, and he is going to be absolutely livid. That again this has ruined his championship right now. That's another nose point. He was on 2nd position. We know how good he can be. I said the Ferraris are looking good. Maybe I've just cursed it, but we've still got 1st, 3rd. They're all on the left. You can see there, all of them there. Actually, yes, they are all on the left. That is, as you see, Fischer, Pretender, Barker, and Koch at the back. Looking out the Koch actually right on the back. He was slower than Noah there, so Noah did get ahead of him in the end. Good to see, but Pretender, he's got a big opportunity now. 2nd position on the grid. Don't forget though, rain is expected, and we know how good the Ginettas can be in the rain. Look at the sky. The greyness of the clouds glooming overhead here. And you have to say this is going to be an absolutely long haul race. In terms of strategy, expect at least a 1-stop if the rain doesn't come before the first pit stop. Fuel will not matter.
87 liters. Pretender 100, so Pretender go for the long run.
Of course, don't forget we will be having the formation that of course someone out of this race as well. Who is that we've lost? That is Koch. We've lost Koch, formation that begins.
Oh, we've lost Koch, indeed.
Yeah, we've lost 2 people already. Formation that begins then. And the lead cars ahead. Dukes, Flat, Booth, FSR, Barker, Nezerin, Robster, Marcus, Noah, all pull away. I think we also have FSR. No, we just missed their FSR. There he is in the blue and orange Renault. It's going to be a very extremely long race. Hope you're getting all comfortable in your seats. This, of course, 1 hour of pure racing here. Rain expected at least, we believe, around the midpoint of this race. So, of course, 30 minutes in, expect the heavens to open. This could and will have an effect. This circuit, actually, it's extremely difficult. And there goes Koch. He's gone with this track in the wet. It's one tricky circuit, isn't it?
It really is, yeah. Especially with the up and down sections. A lot of hills you've got on this track. Of course, with the blind corner, you might lose traction with the shifting of weight. So, really interesting to see what is going to happen. Because do they have the car set up for rain or dry? No, they have to have a balanced setup. So, we might see some issue differences coming into the wet stage of the race.
Remember, where rain race comes down, it is around this section. I do remember there is one of the key puddles you normally witness. Around there, of course, the very long blind right-hander after this chicane coming up. That is another treacherous situation of what's out for the straightaway down to the start-finish line, as well as cars all getting bunched up there. To see at least 12 drivers in the race currently. Of course, we've missed Koch and of course Nick Nitro disconnected earlier on or had an issue. We don't exactly know what the causes are, but we do believe though that failed to ready up in time, and that is the reason why he is not in this race. But Ferrari, Ginetta, Ferrari, Renault,
Marco,
Renault.
so there's been an accident in the back, I think. Or you just sit still for a couple.
A lag, but everyone's starting to bounce up now. Don't forget, out of the last corner is Ren, the leader, will start going, but Ferrari first, third, currently today. Two teammates ahead of the Ginettas. Good, well, the Ginetta at least. Good to see the Ginetta in second. The cars begin run down to turn number 1. Beginning of the Belgian Grand Prix. With rain expected. Who knows who can win here today? Everyone warming the tyres up. The Renaults, the BMWs in the background. This is going to be electric. Come through the last corner. Pretender will have the outside line. Everyone getting very bunched up low. Let's see. Who's it going to be? Here we go then. Start of the race. And everyone goes away. There's a horrible start from Pretender. The Ferrari seems to have got an awesome jump there. Look at Pretender. He's immediately under pressure there from Dukes. Clean away. Dukes down the inside. Perhaps no. Pretender holds it then as the all turn 1. Are they all going to go through cleanly? It seems they have gone through cleanly indeed. So it's a clean start here today there. Everyone seems to be balancing up into turn number 2 though. But so far, Fist and Pretender. And Dukes in third, top 3, there you go in the background, FSR. Run off the Renault's there, there's contact. Ferrari going and into the wall. And off there's, oh my goodness me. 2, is that 3 cars? I think is that David Ben. I thought there's another up, Rob's up. They've all collided there.
It's 4 cars off, 3 cars off, so big pressure to start.
Right at the start then, a few bollards getting kicked up, but it is Fissett, Pretender, Dukes, and there is the 2 Renaults having a bit of an entourage then into the second chicane, and who's going to win off there? It looks like Lana Buffon going through there.
And measuring a big gap to the rest.
Everyone got bunched up, of course, because he's into the turn number 2, sitting rather bunched up, but so far, no major, well, apart from Barker, really heavy in, well, contact with walls. Now I say that, up front, on lap number 1 then, coming to lap number 2, it is Fishhead leading Pretender, or simply saying lap 2 coming on to lap 3. FSR, Nezrin there in the background, cleanly through there on your top 8 and 10 there, as there is rejoining, he won't be able to get back into the race, Cox can't rejoin, but Fishhead leads by 4/10 from Pretender, behind the other Ferrari, glooming in his mirrors. And this could be tactical here for Ferrari. They can get a run too. As Booth under pressure, is he going around the outside there? I believe he just has. Handling. Nezrin there, and who's that?
Noah off.
Yeah, Noah.
With Noah.
Indeed, he's dropped at turn number 1 there. Luckily, no contact with anyone made. He managed to get his car back going. But still, only 6/10 the front 2. And further back there by just under a second, or over a second. And look at the clouds. And actually, he skipped the curb, he's going to lose second. He has lost second. He's got to slow down, Pony. That is the last thing he wanted. In the background, Booth, Flat, FSR and Nezrin all in the middle of nowhere right now. He's getting caught by Marcus here. David Baird is going to come through. Look out for Robster as well. Of course, Noah. Bit of struggling. He is, of course, last right now. He's behind Barker. He hit the wall a few moments ago, we believe. Or, yeah, Barker hit the wall at lap number 1. No, we don't know exactly what happened to him. He had it spun. Turn number 1. So up in 6th, he's battling with Pat. Is battling. Yes, that's spun out. And ahead of him there is Booth. In the background is Nezrin. So the 2 Nvidia cars, the Renaults, currently occupying, I believe, is that 5th, 6th, and 7th. Or 5th, 6th, and 7th, I believe it is. So
4 and 6. Yeah, Fastcon is in a Renault, but not in a video car.
The Renault in general. Only holding the midfield so far, with Ferrari leading 1-2 here, and now Fishhead starts to pull away. Look at the gap, it's almost 2 seconds so far. And now this is where we can probably see, is Dukes going to hold the long story and slightly back off the Pretender into the back, well, into the cars behind the chasing pack. That'll be an extremely interesting thing to see. 50 2 minutes to go. We're at 10% through this race nearly already. And Booth is catching. So far it is going always planned for Ferrari.
Yeah, so 1-2 for Ferrari, but when and if the rain comes down, we might see the Ginetta, a pretender, storm off the field again. But of course we know how good it goes in the wet.
I mean, do we all know how good it is? Pretender is up on his lap time here. The arc starting to catch back up to Fisher, so I thought perhaps Dukes might back off a little bit. He doesn't seem to be backing off too much though. That gap is closing a little bit. Everyone actually kind of closing on each other here a tiny little bit here. And the gap not opening too much. 4 laps in, coming on to the 5th there. Flat and FSR battling for 6th and 5th position here. That's the battle of the leading Renaults there. Of course, part of the booth who is the lead Renault. So they are not the lead Renaults. They are the 2nd and 3rd of the list of Renaults. And then behind them by a long old while it is Nezerin. He's starting to pull away a little bit. Marvel dropping away from the chasing pack.
Yeah, and he's also in the Renault, of course, so the Renaults are occupying, let's see, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th.
Great to see, doing so well so far, but Nezerin not on his best day so far, but a flat spot out. And FSR, who's having a little look, I believe, then he's getting very close to the back there, and he said now opens that gap to 2.2 seconds now. It's really good in these first 2 sectors. Caught up in the middle, so he's gone for downforce. The sunshine peeking through the clouds, but that's don't throw it. It's going to rain, we believe. But as far as we know, rain is on the forecast, and it will happen at some point in this race. It's a matter of when. Very much going to make this race into an interesting situation. Some of these drivers might be on the dry setup, some might already have the wet setup. All we know is Feshhead is pulling that gap now to 2.5 seconds, and there is the field. All of them, I think, that top 6 nearly in the same camera shot there. In the background there is Nezerin. So still closing up. And there is your leader. There is 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. Great to see here, flat, just about keeping that gap. It's kept a bit even there, but that's right. So the Ferraris, it's very much an impressive start from the pair of them.
Yes, indeed, and it's unfortunate, of course, Cox disconnected from the start of the race. He was in last, but he never really could have done in the race. He was putting quite a show in the qualifying, but you never know what race pace they might show, so quite sad to see him go, but the first 2 cars are occupied by yellow Ferrari, so that's really good for them.
Indeed, well, Robster is in 10th position ahead of Barker. Those 2 involved in that one incident. Of course, Barker speared off into the wall. I'm not sure exactly what happened, though. It did seem there was contact with another car. Yeah, there was contact with, I think David Ben. May have been. May have been one of those drivers there. But yeah.
I'm not quite sure how to review that.
We'll look back on the screen.
With Robster. It was also covered with Robster.
All sorts of problems there. Almost exactly the same sector time for FSR. These guys are now passing the Booth on here extremely quickly, you have to say. Booth on is a little bit under pressure here as FSR dropping back from flat spun now, and there is Booth. 5 tenths the gap. It's closed up quite a lot. But up front, look at that gap right now. It's opening up. It's almost 3.5 seconds. It's opening at least about a second every 3 laps here. Very impressive stuff to see. And Fishhead, he's on a mission right now. As Tender tries to close up to the other Ferrari. Let's see if he can do that in the coming laps. Noah down the back low, and he's 44 seconds off the pace. I have to say it's unfortunate to the issues he's had. I think he's spun again, we believe, actually, because he's so far down. He's got a heap of time, so I think he's either gone off again, or maybe he pitted. Exactly.
I don't think he pitted. He only had a spin. I didn't think he had damage. I didn't see contact with him. I saw a spin from him though. Might be contact with another driver, but he lost heaps of time there.
time, and that is going to cost him valuable points in the championship here. Look at the battle for second, by the way. Second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Technically, you've got option. It's let's see what's the gap between them all. It's 3 to about 3-4 seconds between them here, and I believe closing up is that Duke's getting a bit of the present rectangle there. I believe they look very close. Entering in 7th.
Also, Nestor is on a mission. He wants to catch up to that group.
He is improving. Now, I did say I thought Pretender looked like he was getting closer. He is. He's the gap. It's about a second, 5 tenths actually. A second far behind. But you can just see how good that Ferrari is.
Actually. He pushed too much. How much is it? 2 seconds.
Oh, and he cut 8 corner then. He's going to cut 2 corners. And he's not slowing down. And then you only get 1 second per corner cut. He's got 2, meaning he's got a major corner cut. Something else as well. I don't exactly know what's happened there, but it's important to see Nezerin having such issues here today. He's normally been right up there. But of course, this is one of the circuits. It's very tricky to get the correct setup. I remember doing a month of this practice to make a setup. And it was extremely tiresome.
I do remember that either. I don't know why, but that race, it just had something I just wanted to practice from, yeah, just the whole week. It just filled with practice for this track.
Indeed, it was my actual full-time debut I've ever made in an actual league, and it's 5th on a debut in a...
You did take someone out though, but...
Yeah, I may have had a little bit of contact with someone, but moving on from that, we of course have a great race going on. David Ben and Marcus, and it's the battle for 8th position right now. Up front still is Fixer and Dukes. Ferrari 1-2. And I wonder, let's see if we go to the front 2. Well,
Pretender is really close.
3 tenths. There's a gap close enough, and look at the gap open here out of the chicane. It opens up a little bit. You can just see that now it starts to close with the slipstream, but not a lot. A little bit up, no.
So it's a really hard track to overtake.
Run further down, David Ben, who we were just looking at there, he's battling with Marcus. I don't know how this will go. Let's see. It'll be an interesting battle. I wonder if Marcus will put up much of a fight, because these guys are in a long race right now because of their retrospective strategies, of course, meaning they're the ultimate strategy that they want to be on. Have to take it very much gently and trying to get through the field as best they can. Hopefully, of course, they can get through the field.
People might be going for a 0-stop again this race. But of course, I don't know in terms of strategy. You just have to keep your tires alive.
Well, you say that, we know the rain's coming, so we knew they will have to pit at some point during this race.
They will have to pit, indeed, yeah. I totally forgot that. But we can't say for sure yet if the rain will come.
Yeah, indeed. So it's not an if they will pit, it's a when will they pit. And it is also a question mark. When is this cloud cover going to come over with the predicted rain? Is it going to strike us in the middle? Is it going to strike us in a few moments? Keep an update right now. The clouds into the wall! And that is a very much a huge impact there for David Ben. He's dropped down the curve.
He's going to watch out.
Yeah, that's extremely close there. A few cars blasting past. I did mention that corner bed, so remember we've seen it before. It's extremely difficult. Off camber. And he's got that car on the curbs, didn't he? And he dropped that straight away. There was no chance.
Yeah, a bit too wide, and if you stand in front of them, the car just steers off into the right, and there's nothing you can do then.
Absolutely zero chance. Are you a passenger when that happens at that point? Can you catch it when you're there at that point of the circuit?
If you're really lucky, you might be able to, but with the speed he was carrying, there was no way.
Indeed, I don't think. Does he come into the pit lane straight away? Yes, he has in the pit lane.
Yeah,
yes, he is.
Definitely. He kind of has to, because with that amount of damage, it's almost impossible to drive.
Never say never. It's still a long race, well, a long way to go in this race. Never say never, David Ben, but it's not looking good. He really needs this rain to come very quickly now. He wants to make the strategy work. The other tires, he's really got a situation where his race is very much the worst situation you can have a race in. Rain coming down, damage of course, having to pit. And it's going to be a long old afternoon out for him. It's going to be a lap down nearly on the rest of the field. In fact, it's coming to the last corner, so I think it may actually be a lap down. Pretender still trying to find a way past Dukes. He's still got 6 tenths. The gap has opened up a little bit. It opened up about a 10, so I think it's slowly opening. In the background there, we've still got the 3 Renaults. And there is David Ben.
Is still pitting, so he is lapped this time.
But up front, Ferrari and Ginetta leading the race here. And then it's the line of Renaults of 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, and then the Porsche. And then it's the Ferrari of Barkley. I think he's got the Audi.
Yes, another thing I want to say about this track. It can be quite a frustrating track. I've had it once, and when you have better pace than the car in front of you, it's just so hard to find the way past.
Hard to find the way past, but it's so easy to make mistakes.
It's so hard. Yeah, it's so hard to make an overtake here. I mean, if you just take a look at the corners, there is no corner. There are just maybe a few corners where you could say, I can make a move there. Making a move here is too risky.
You can make a move there, but really, you don't see that in GT racing very often. I'd be surprised if we did see one today. I'd be really astonished. In GT cars, they're a lot wider than the counterparts of the open wheel racers. They'll race around it, but Pretender still putting that pressure on. You can just see the dirty air around this circuit as well. It's either a do or die move here, if they are going to make a move, but I don't see right now, unless someone locks a wheel or goes wide or a bit of a slide on the exit, that anything's going to happen yet. We'll have to wait until, of course, the fuel comes down, but the Renaults are keeping those top, well, they're keeping second and third honest. They have not let him go, but up front, leading by almost 7 seconds now, it's Fishhead, who is doing an extremely good job. Of course, I'm wondering why we do call him Fishhead, because well, it is Dutch for Fishhead, isn't it, Battery?
Yeah, Vissenkop is Fishhead in Dutch. So that's some trivia for you.
There's some trivia about his username there. I presume also, I believe he is Dutch as well, if I'm not mistaken.
He must be.
I believe he is. Find that out after the race. Vince Dukes through the corner. Behind him there. Running good over the curve there. Pretender, he's done that a few times today. Carefully doesn't spin off there, and look at the clouds, look up to them, they're getting a bit darker, do you not, Vetch? Let's go on board Boob if we can quickly. Clouds are getting a little bit darker up there, the sun's still shining.
Really great fun.
Oh, Boob's going, oh, that
actually made a mistake.
He's going to be in the press, he really is going to be in the press. I think actually, what's he done here? He slowed down the 2 cars behind, and now, look at this. ZFSR going through, he's going to take 2 cars and spin to 1 corner. That is optimistic at its best, and that has paid off. I thought Booth was going slowly and actually was holding up the car behind. He did, and that's really paid in for FSR. Now the Renault switched positions. Again, they've completely reverted. Actually,
that was a great move. What happened there?
He's going to come back, Petro. He's going to go on the outside. He's going to squeeze him up against the wall. Look at this. He's going to say that's going to be brave. He's going to try around the outside. He's going to make contact. They are. Are they going to get through? Look at this. They're bargy here in... Oh, they're still going at it. And again, FSR back ahead. He's not having that. But never mind, though. FSR just got through. Booth is not going to have a lot about that. I expect he's going to come back. He's been even Steven on the pace. And surely now is the opportunity to come through and try and get that position.
Yeah, what happened there a few corners ago, Buffon made a small mistake and Flexpack got bumped down behind him. He had to slow down, and then FSR saw his chance and went through, and then just a lot of action side by side in the first corner. You don't see that too often, but it's great when you see that.
And the outside as well, that was very brave to get a position there.
And he almost made it.
Indeed he did, and Booth still trying to put the pressure on. Look at the background. I think I believe, did he make a mistake there? He dropped, well, that was 2 seconds there. Look at the Final still for second and third.
I made a small mistake going out of turn, that small chicane after turn 1 and 2 of them. See, at the back, it's also Marcus and Barker having a battle.
Yes, he is. Here we go, around the outside. I think that's an easy move. Yes, it is. Like, oh, maybe not. And that I have to say, was very much a racing incident there. That very much reminded me of Verstappen and Vettel there. As a wide line went for it and locked up. And went straight into the side of him there. And that is very much an unfortunate incident there. Tender. Now dropped a little bit of time. He's now just over a second behind.
Now where's Flatspun? He's dropped right back. Look where he is on dark.
Indeed, yes. He's having a horrible afternoon here today. Still up front. It is going from good to better to absolutely anything here in the Belgian Grand Prix. And Booth goes off the road there.
Well, he comes on the road.
Rebounding.
He can break a bit later there. The corner widens up at the exit there. So you can run a bit wide there, but it will cost you a lot of time.
Indeed, it's pretty interesting indeed. 36 minutes to go, coming to half through this race, and I'm still looking at the clouds and wondering, is this rain actually going to come? It's been a long ride, we've still got half the race to go. I say that, though, all of a sudden it's got rather gloomy over our commentary box window. So maybe I've just cursed the sky, because look at it, it's all of a sudden got a lot darker all of a sudden around the circuit. On board for Pretender as he comes from turn number 1, and he is stuck behind Dukes. He's not got that gap close enough. He keeps going to about 5/10 for a second. It's the closest he's been in a few laps. Let's see if he can close up.
Flatspun has dropped back a few places. He dropped back to a Boomer look like. It looked like he dropped back more. Or it might just be my life playing on me.
Maybe. Not too certain. I thought I noticed dropping a little bit of time. But of course, do get your comments in the chat, by the way. We do love to see them. Netterin in 7th, and you have to say, this is very much not the race many of us would have imagined here, neither to Robster and Marcus. Of course, a few of them involved in that lap 1 calamities, of course, of the second corner. That, of course, Barker was involved heavily as well.
Yeah, it was a big crash, and it was Barker, David, Ben, and Robster, and it's really hard to recover from such an early crash. Especially in a race where, if there's no rain, there's not going to be a lot of pit stops.
Indeed, perhaps 1 or even 0 still on the cards, though we do believe, in the strong belief, the rain is coming. Just a matter of if and when.
I think it's more a matter of if, because the clouds are looking treacherous. The weather forecasts are showing rain, but in real life I don't see anything bounding at the sky.
The forecast, looking at the forecast here, it is slowly picking up a few blue spots being brought up east of the circuit, and that could add to a very much interesting situation. That, of course, coming in from that direction, so is the rain going to come there? No, through the line of Bremer. It could hit anywhere on the circuit, and when it does, oh boy, could it pour in one area and be completely dry in the other. We are in Belgium, of course, not Spa. Of course, we know the localised weather conditions that place has, of course, around the Ardennes Forest, and the circuit not too far away, I believe. It's still a 2-hour drive. Fun fact, actually, for any of you who's just wondering about, of course, the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa, and of course, it's actually, you'll be surprised, very close to the Nürburgring, actually. Fun fact, in 2007, when the real life F1 race was there, of course, when that rainstorm actually came from Spa. So you do have the same localised weather conditions. When it normally rains at Spa, about an hour later, it will rain at the Nürburgring, depending on, of course, the direction of the wind. Likewise, the other way around as well. Still interesting stats for you there.
Really interesting stats there. And of course, a race at the Nürburgring is also called the Luxembourg Grand Prix.
Indeed,
What's the
97.
story about that?
I'm not exactly too certain. I think because they had a deal to hold the Grand Prix. I always wondered. I don't exactly know where Luxembourg compared to Germany is. I know it is very close, but
It's attached to Belgium
well, there we go.
at the southeast, I think.
There we go then. So I'm not exactly too certain, but very interesting to sorry, 27 of course. That race was one of the interesting ones, not the best Belgian, German Grand Prix or Luxembourg Grand Prix, the Nürburgring of course. One of my favourite races there was of course 1999, and it was very much an interesting race.
Yeah, it's Stewart's GP 1-2.
As well. Pat joined us in the commentary box there. No, never mind that.
Always the wrong moment when he jumps in. It's always the wrong moments.
Never mind though, Pretender is currently third. Your rundown by the way is just coming to mid-ray through this race. It is Fishhead leading the ray by 8 seconds now. He's just ahead of Noah there. A lap down, of course. There is your battle for second. It is Dukes and of course Pretender. Further behind them we have the whole line of Renaults of FSR. We have of course behind that Booth. And then flat spun out in Netherlands as well. Behind them we have Robster and Marcus Barker and 13th, and of course the lappies of course being Noah and David Ben for a separate incident in the race. It's on Noah by the way, he's got those lights on, a few of them do. Anyone joining the chat by the way, and it's a pleasure to see you all. Jumping in here of course to the cloudy Belgian Grand Prix of the skies. I'd say getting a little bit darker, but like I say that, it looks a little bit lighter in some places. A huge hop over the curb there for Dukes by the way. That's not going to do the suspension very good in real life, but in this game I don't believe it'll do much damage, or if any, maybe a little bit of aero. Won't really affect
Pretender is pushing now. You can see he is really pushing. He wants to get past now.
Save those tyres, you can say that, if you did just make a mistake. Pushing, and this track, like you said, though, it's extremely hard to push because you push a little bit one lap and then the tyres, they just go off the cliff very quickly, they overheat, and it takes 3 or 4 to need to get them back into the same condition. Indeed,
and also FSR and Booth they're really close.
It's very easy for Fitted right now. Of course, I don't believe he will win the championship this race. Oh no! Oh, he's in the wall! Oh, my goodness me! We mentioned he was pushing, doesn't want to push it too hard, and now he's dropped it. That is surely damage done to the front of the Ginetta, and that's going to be that's the worst place you want to have an off, isn't it?
Yes, it was. It was a really hard impact. It's a concrete barrier there. His race has been pretty much ruined. He was in a really good second position, but jumped right back to 6th. Really, really unfortunate for him.
Now,
and we've lost someone in the race. We are now down to 11.
Yes, see who that
Is it
Noah.
Parker? He's still in.
Noah.
It's Noah, indeed.
Yes, Noah. We won't say though, for Pretender, he needs it to rain right now. And there it is, confirmed Noah, who's just left the session. Now we're down to 11 runners in the Belgian Grand Prix, but that was a humongous strike into the wall. And that is definitely, he needs to rain right now. Heavily.
Yeah, if he wants to have a chance, he needs it to rain now. Because if he pits for damage now, and it rains later, he has to make a second stop, and then he will lose even more. There's a car off in the background. It's a Tessera.
I don't believe so.
No, it's not. It's Pretender again.
Yeah, he's dropping off the face of the earth. He's definitely got damage. There's David Ben catching up there in the background. He's a lap down though, and getting well up the way is Pretender. He knows he's got damage, and he does not want to fight. But if he pits and it rains, that is going to make him absolutely furious. I don't know, maybe they've been told the rain is coming. I can't say for certain, but all we know is it's gone from bad to worse. I believe he'll come straight in. Yes, he does, but look at those clouds, Metro. Don't tell me they're not rain clouds ahead. I believe they are.
So now the only battle we have on track, semi-battle, is FSR versus Booth for the podium position. But also Booth has jumped right back to him.
Look for the situation. Comes in the chat, by the way, and of course his circuit, one of the older circuits, I believe it's made in the 50s, I believe. Off the top of my head, it's one of the older circuits in the world. Of course, the older circuit, of course, being Brooklyn. The oldest current circuit, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it is Indianapolis. A permanent built circuit.
Indianapolis, I think it was 1908 or 09. Somewhere around there.
Now he comes loading those rears up there, and I have to say,
Ricardo.
He does not want it to rain now. If he wants anything from this race, if it rains, he will end up with nothing. He's just been lapped by your leader, and now it's not the opportunistic time for it to rain, though. We still don't know. It's still a question, and I'm still questioning, when is the rain coming? We know I didn't see it on the radar. He's going to run those in manner. We've got Mobster. He's getting a little pressure from Marcus right now, though I'd say Marcus runs extremely wide. That won't cost him too much in that corner. It's straight on the exit. He gets away with it. Mobster after his incident earlier on, wasn't it, that tree?
Yeah, it does look like Marcus is having a lot better pace, but driving towards someone is one, but going past someone is second, of course, and it's really hard to overtake on the circuit, like we saw with the battle. The tender losing the patience, of course, and just one moment of not paying attention or losing concentration, indeed. It's afraid of the scene of the accident and right into a concrete barrier, and that's a heavy damage for him.
Indeed, it is a concrete barrier there, isn't it? Yes, it is.
I'm pretty sure it is, yeah.
Well, where it was, I believe, just past where it covered the riding wall. It was, oh there, Marcus, that's a slow down penalty.
It's a corner cut. He's got to slow down for this, otherwise he will face a penalty.
Well, maybe he got away with it. He could drop a bit of time. Now, wide goes Mobster, right goes Marcus, the clouds, they're getting darker, the track, it's getting darker as well. I'm getting a little bit wondering, is it going to come down now, or are we just thinking it's going to come down and it's not going to come down?
We'll see out of the exit of the last corner, is it actually a concrete barrier on the inside? Because if it is, it will be very dangerous, especially in real life.
It's an Armco barrier, it might not be concrete barrier, it is spun it.
It's Armco, yeah.
It is Armco, so we'll get lucky here, and the one that is straight to the scene of a concrete wall. It's an Armco barrier, so that will hold most of the impact there. It's difficult to get a technical barrier there, only because of how that right off that corner is. It's
actually, Marcus has got a penalty for his action.
Yes, he has now. That's
how many?
Two.
It's 2 seconds, and Nestor's got 4.
He's gone off somewhere again, and we've not seen it. So that's not gone well for Nestor. Not gone well for Marcus. And now we have to look at the front, by the way. And it's going to go through that if we can for first position, because look at your leader. Look at the gap. It's 23 seconds, and that's rain! It is rain! It's raining in Belgium! Is that rain? It is! I believe I noticed. Yes, I believe it is raining.
Yes, it is.
It's raining.
Rain.
This is going to and will have a huge effect. Now, how hard is it going to come down? Is it going to come down in time? But look at it there in turn number 1. It is actually chucking it down here. Look at the camera. It's getting completely soaked. It's chucking it down. It's in sector 1. And this is going to be extremely difficult. It's chucking it down all around the circuit. Who's going to chuck it in? If anyone, straight away, they're going to risk those intermediates immediately.
Not yet. I mean, the fact is with this game, it takes a long time for the track to get wet enough for wets.
Indeed, and now the rain comes down. This definitely will add effect. Now, how hard is it going to come down? Well, we definitely believe it is a heavy rain. So this will definitely add spice to the race. For everyone, look at see a bit of spray getting picked up immediately there for a few drivers. Up front, it is Fishhead Booth here. He is in a little bit of a battle for FSR still. This is the battle for third position. Now it is, of course, after defenders might have shumped into the wall, and look at the rain out of the back straight away. That is extremely heavy. I think it's starting to affect the camera as well. Expect some spray to get picked up in a few laps' time. Noticing, of course, all the debris kind of racing line, all the gravel being picked up on a very interesting to see. I'm going to ride on board if we can with someone. How wet does it look out there? It's not wet enough, I don't think, straight away, but it is definitely coming down quite heavily in sector 1.
So the new light weather 3.0 on this game. You got a good weather cycle. It may be wet in one part and rock goes in.
Now is that for instance?
Too early. That's
Surely.
too early.
He's gonna have to gamble.
No, it's too early.
It might be too early, but he's gonna gamble it. It's a gambling race. It might pay off. Maybe he's been told it's gonna get heavier. Maybe it's thunderstorm perhaps coming in. We'll find out. We don't know if he's on winters or wets. We'll find out. It comes in. I don't know if they are intermediate tyres. We'll never find that out fully.
But in these conditions, they will overheat.
Maybe. So it is a very big gamble. It's a big risk. You can just see the rain is something they can pick up on a camera lens. Not enough though for the drivers to put their windscreen wipers on yet. Some of them might not. You can just see slowing it on the camera a little bit. 20 minutes to go, and this could add some drama there. Big twitch from Booth into the last corner. And yes, indeed, it is getting heavier. Every time he comes through, it's getting a little bit more and more. Roscoe comes out, he's a lap down now. So really now, he needs the heavens to open. And I believe maybe he's just got that. Because look at the rain on the screen. It's now coming down on the camera lenses on board the cars. And this now surely is going to make things extremely difficult. Yes, it is. Look at it. And Robster getting well out of the way there. So he's going to be looking at his times, and let's keep an update every few laps, the gap between him and the contender. See if that comes down. But you can see, maybe you were right. Look at how understeering he is right now. Don't know if it's wet enough yet, but it's definitely a gamble. Maybe it'll pay off. Maybe we never know. This game, sometimes the rain suddenly comes out in a huge heap all of a sudden. Maybe it might not. It's a complete gamble.
It all depends on the weather settings. If it's on sync to race, it's a whole lot different. It can just check it down suddenly, and when it's on a different setting, it might be a bit slower or faster even. And don't really know how the settings work, but the settings have a really big impact on how the rain will convert into the race.
Indeed, still up front though, 13 seconds will lead up, by the way. Dukes and FSR, who we're looking at Booth, and FSR right now, so it's still a Ferrari, a 1-2, but only just, low, there is Dukes, and there of course is the group of Renaults, all of them there, flying through, from third down to at least 7th position, I believe, 6th position to say. Dukes in second, there he is in the other Ferrari, ahead of FSR, and Booth. Behind them, only by a little bit of a one, just over 2 seconds. It is flat, and then a big old gap to Nezerin, who's having a lonely afternoon here today. And just look at that rain. Surely now it's coming down. Yes, it is. It's really coming down now.
Oh, I can really see the drops kicking up now.
Yes, surely now.
Look at Marcus. Marcus is really closing up, it looks like.
Indeed, yes, look at this. The rain is really coming down now. It's chucking it on our window here, but the sun's still just about shining. You can't see it on how heavy it is on this camera. Let's see in the cockpit, have they got their windscreen wipers going? I don't believe so, not yet. On the,
you can hear the droplets.
Outboard camera, definite rain can be heard. And definitely see, it looks a lot lighter in this third sector, but it looks a lot heavier down the back straight. I believe that might just be how the camera makes it look, but especially down this camera, look, you just see, looks absolutely vicious. Here, maybe it's not as heavy as it looks, but I'm spitting. It is now raining. Now, how long do you think, Retro, before the track starts to get wet? The sun's still out, just about.
I think it will be really interesting to see, because if it begins to chuck down in 5 minutes, they have about 10 minutes of rain, and it will be really interesting to see, because 10 minutes is not a lot of time for rain. So, it is heavy rain, of course, so I have no idea actually how this will pan out. I've never raced in this kind of conditions before.
It's really difficult, but these drivers, you have to say, the track surface is going to be going down very quickly, the grip is going to be going down quickly, so expect perhaps a few spins or a few issues for some of the drivers. You can see their lap time deltas dropping off the pace as well. Going to be, look at the clouds. Yes, now the clouds are completely coming over here in the back sector. The back of the circuit, like I said, that'll be coming from the east. And this is going to add some interesting, so it is coming from the east, like I said. The sun's still ahead. It's going to add some very interesting situations. 15 minutes to go. Your order as it stands as this moment is Fisher, Dukes, FSR in third, Booth 4, Flat is fifth, Nezerin and Marcus 6th and 7th with penalties of course of 4 and 2. Barker, Ray, Pretender 9th after his earlier spin into the Armco, and off goes Nezerin, and just as I said, he was having issues and he's dropped behind Marcus. Now, his teammate went off there in qualifying, so he must have hit the lock up there. Maybe though, it's going to be the rain. A bit of spray. Yes, it is actually. I think it's a lot heavier. Yes, it is. Look how heavy it is getting. Yes, now windscreen rope is surely on some of them. See now, going heavier and heavier on your TV screens. And heavier here on the outboard screens. It looks a lot heavier than I believe it actually is, though. So, but it does look extremely volatile in the weather conditions right now. Remember the last time it rained in, of course, the Austrian Grand Prix, the Red Bull ring or the A1 ring. Go nostalgic. What was the off-road ring? I really want to go nostalgic. Of course, in the Red Bull ring, remember what happened there when it rained. Oh boy, did we have a lot of drama in that race. Rain coming down, I believe, remember, huge incident, and that's number one. The rain, of course, I don't believe will have things like this today.
Yeah, there was a huge impact. Of course, Marcus rolling over 8 times.
Indeed, it's going to be extremely difficult here. And there is Marcus, by the way. A few puddles, I believe, is forming there on the outside of the circuit. So it is getting damper and damper, and I believe how long is it going to be for that spray to kick up? That's going to be an interesting point.
I think with about 12 to 10 minutes to go.
Look at every time we come past, heavier and heavier goes the rain. And you have to say, this is getting into its own area where it's starting to wonder. And look at the clouds. Yes, the sun now almost completely gone there. You can just about see it glinting through the clouds. But they are coming much more aggressively. Now, you're seeing rain starting to pop up there on some of the cars, on the roofs. So it is now getting heavier. And surely now some of the drivers might have to think about their strategies, but I doubt maybe no one needs to come in for different tyres. Maybe they can go now. Maybe the tyre wear might be lower than expected because of the rain. However, their grip will be lower because their tyres are going to be old. and it's really all just going to add to a situation. In comes Nezerin. I did so, dear, he's hit the that of a sort of a place you want to hit. There's a fuel tank there.
Just a moment when there's a huge explosion in the pit lane.
Indeed, there. That is extremely difficult, by the way. I've never realised, this is not a dig at the circuit, but I've never understood why there is fuel tanks there, or I believe it is fuel. I have a man still in the pit in there. Look at the rain. There we go. There is the spray kicking up. Out of the last corner, a bit of spray was that there.
But now, it was really interesting because some people will be taking risks and trying to finish the race on the soft tires, but some people will change to wet tires, and we might see actually different strategies at the end of the race with only 10 minutes to go.
Indeed, maybe
now the battle for the podium places has lighted up again.
Yes, look at the race. Look at the puddles. We were right. There is puddles in the exit of turn number 1 now. So where I said puddles might start forming, they are starting to form now. Expect there. I think there's another puddle just there streaming across the road. It is getting wetter and wetter. This is going to rack some drama. Let's go on board if we can of the driver. Just on board the food pen. Let's have a look to see the surface. It's a little more slicker, a little more damp.
The surface is getting really damp, and that means FSR is struggling.
Oh, he's running, so maybe Booth, I believe he may have had a wet setup on here. Maybe some of these drivers are gambling on the rain coming earlier, but Booth's already having a look as the rain pours here in the Belgian Grand Prix, and round the outside he tries. He's not going to be there, he's going to be hung up like chocolate is, and he's not going to do it. But he's going to try in these appalling conditions. Look at this.
He's really breaking the brakes.
Locking up every time as the rain continues to pour. Don't get on those curves, lads. There's going to be treacherous there in a few laps' time.
Yeah, pretend I lost it there on the dry. We imagine that in the wet.
Indeed, remember those white lines. Maybe your best friend in the dry, they're the worst enemy in the wet.
Duke's struggling in the dry.
Everyone's struggling. Yes, Duke's struggling a lot, but up front, who is not struggling, is Fishhead. He's opened that gap. An absolute treat right now. 15 seconds. And surely now, maybe he can start relaxing. He's dropping a bit of time. Yes, he is actually a little bit of time. Now he opens it back up. And he can start taking a bit gentle now, but Ferrari now coming under pressure from the Renaults. Now, we do remember, of course, the Renaults did so well in the rain in Austria. The penalist Ferraris, even though the Ferraris did win, I believe, but obviously under pressure for most of the race from the Renaults. And again, how damp it's getting there into the chicane.
Now, a really interesting thing. FSR is catching up to Dukes, and Booth is catching up to everyone, and you can see the spray. They will have to pick the wet tires now.
Is this now if they do, and look for the inside! Oh, he's trying! Oh no! Oh, there was hit! There was, oh, they have hit! They've hit Dukes, that's shoving each other off the road! Look at Liz Booth! Oh, they're in the wall! Oh, they are in the wall! They're in the wall! And now they're going to have to pit! They'll have to pit! Surely! FSR, is he coming in? Yes, he is! Contact down the straight! Now, was that aquaplaning there, Vectro?
I don't think so. I think it was just wheel banging. One of them had to give up the position, but neither did it. And Booth now
damage.
With every damage, and this might have saved Dukes' high, because Dukes is really struggling in these conditions. And now the pressure is off the kettle, and I mean, it was really hard to see who was at fault there. Might just be the rain. But it looks like it was a bit too risky for both of them.
Indeed, but look at this. FSR Frank Forrest, he's going for those intermediate tyres now, surely. Now, if not, is the opportunity.
But he might not lose too much. He might not lose too much if the rest also has to catch for intermediates. But I'm not quite sure if they have to. But Flat Spun will also take the position from Booth. And Flat Spun has a really good chance for the podium now.
Well, the aquaplane just there a few moments ago. It's getting even more damp now. Surely some drivers have to come in. Yes, here we go. A few markers in the pit lane.
Marcus also in. and Barker
He's on those
taking the
intermediate
position from
tyres.
FSR and Marcus.
One of them's on the
FSR
intermediate
goes
tyres.
out again.
Let's go to flat if we can. He's still behind Boom. Look at how wet it's got here compared to last lap now. It's just a big old puddle there, and that is not going to help any of the drivers. With 7 minutes to go in these treacherous conditions, and there is Boom. He's gone
going to
off.
stop now. He has to.
Surely, yes.
He surely has to.
He's weaving a little bit
blocking
there.
flat spun.
Come in. No,
Wolf is staying out. He's going to risk it.
He's going to risk it. Maybe he wants that podium, but surely it's getting too risky. Look at how wet it's getting. Now we have to look and see who is doing the best here. Pretender. He's up into 7th. Is that FSR? He's
It's
next.
FSR. Right behind FSR. Already.
This could be very interesting here. They're just, of course, come up the pit lane. They all go through the first chicane. Is that your leader, by the way? Under pressure here. It is. He said, well, this is really showing how the rain conditions are coming down. Your leader getting caught rapidly here now, surely. If I was him, and off goes Pretender in the background there onto the grass. Now let's look. I think, is it Fishhead going to let him through here? Surely, if I was Fishhead, I'd be taking it extremely cautiously here. I would not be doing any much throttle control. I'd just be coasting it here. It's got a big old gap, but I'd definitely consider pitting. He doesn't want to be hit by, of course, any of the cars behind. It's fun. Goes off, and he's going to go through the door. My goodness, there's a huge car. There's a car parked in the background. Is that Marcus?
Nezrin goes through.
Nezrin goes through. Nezrin, look at Nezrin, he's going through to get another one. Yes, he is. Now another position up. Now, look how damp it's gone all of a sudden.
He's unlocked himself.
He's
unlocked himself in flat.
Oh, he has unlocked himself. Yes, my apologies. So, he's got past Marcus though. And
Marcus is trying to unlock himself.
Look at Nezrin, he's going through the inside. There's almost contact, and I think into the pit lane, or through the gravel, has gone the other runner of Booth. Booth, I think there he is. Back at him comes flat out. This is treacherous conditions here for 5 minutes to go. 40 seconds, your leader.
Now.
15, sorry.
We know. We know. FSR. Where will he rejoin?
Well, maybe we might jump a few positions. He was up near the front, and well, he's not going to go too far, but he has now passed. Fishhead, and look at the gap it's opened up by at least a 3-4 seconds already. But I do believe, in the opinion that I don't believe the Ferraris will stop today. They really can't. It's too risky for them, isn't it, Vetcher? If they pit, they're going to lose a lot more time than you think. But they want to watch out for the likes of flats.
Now, the Booth, he is risking it. He has a lot of damage, it looks like. And he's risking it on the dry tires. And Marcus tries to go through, and he makes contact with him.
Make contact, yes. Marcus trying. And this is because there's that lobster behind him. Yes, it is. Rob's still getting involved in this as well. And this could get all sorts of carnage here. Look at all the aquaplaning getting chain correct there. Almost pressing in the back, and he's aquaplaning. Look at the aquaplaning now. Now getting out of the way, surely a little bit, yes, locking up. They all are going straight off the road nearly here as they're getting on that wet patch. Marcus trying to unlock himself there from Booth, who gets a bad exit. More aquaplaning there for him. He's going to lose a position, but he's going to lose and get lapped. No, unlapped, I would say. Well, he's still not pitting. This surely is costing him time now. But your top two, I think, perhaps they can just about, with 3 minutes to go, cruise it round in these wet conditions. But never say never. It's getting heavier and heavier. Any moment, we could see cars flying off the road. This is aquaplane territory.
But look at the gap Vincent is putting now. 20 seconds already on his teammate Booth. Marcus, can he catch up to Rob Zolder?
Oh, look at the gap, it's opened up massively all of a sudden here. Oh, there. It's a bit of grass. That's going to be really costing that. Look how slow they're going. They were doing at least 100 through there in the dry. They're going at least 80 now. That's remarkable to see how heavy the rain has got today.
So the rain is
second.
coming.
I
and
think
it's coming
Fishhead's gone
heavily.
off.
You can
Fishhead's
feel it.
gone off. Sorry, look, Fishhead's gone off somewhere. Look, the gap's dropped a huge amount of time.
Yes, it's gone off indeed. Has he been taken out of... Well, Pretender's going through. Didn't make contact.
No, they were very much, maybe, yeah, they were very close. I don't know what's happened there, but, he's activating there. They can just hear the tyres feels. That is not what he wants to do. This is treacherous conditions here. Lee's drivers.
He still has some comfortable leads to Dukes, but he's still on the right tyres, mind you. As is Duke, so they will both lose a lot of time.
And Dukes is getting passed by Robster here, and Marcos as well. So look how much they're struggling.
And also Marcus, watch out!
Ooh, Marcus getting caught out. These guys are on those inters and wet tyres. And just look how hard it is. Look at the gap. And through goes Marcus, lapping himself there. That might affect him. 2 minutes to go. Booth is going off the road there if he's not careful. He's aquaplaning an absolute horrible aquaplaning. Where was the car compared to him? 50 seconds. Maybe it worked out. And he is on those wet tyres.
The flat spot is on the wets. Are you sure he's on the wets?
I believe he is. He did pit a few laps ago. He pitted, I think, 2-3 laps ago, around the 7-minute mark. And you can just see how much he's actually closing up.
You would think he really would catch up to Fish, but he still is 50 seconds behind, and I don't really see him catching that quickly.
48, so it is come down a little bit, but you're leading out. 20 seconds again. He's ahead of one of the other. He's off the road! He's off the road! Oh, there, like I say, aquaplaning, that's what they want to be cautious of. If I was Fish, I would slow right down. Nezra, and is he going back to past Pretender? He's hit the wall nearly there. He did hit the wall, yes he did. Bit of debris, bit of carbon fibre getting kicked up there. And this is now, with only just under a minute to go, the rain coming down even heavier now. Surely a few of these drivers...
And now Nezra right behind Barker.
He gets past
He's going
him.
through.
Yeah, Barker's hit the wall. I think Barker hit the wall maybe. Look, he's got damage on that car. The front right torn off. Maybe he's gone on the wrong tyres, I don't know. Look at flat all of a sudden. Look, 40 seconds. He's took it 10 seconds all of a sudden.
Pretender's losing a lot of players.
Pretender's in the wall.
Oh, Pretender in the wall again.
He's got damage.
He's second to last.
He's in the wall. He's got
And in the wall
damage.
again.
He's got big damage. Last lap, by the way. Look
So-
at Fishhead. Look at Jukes is off. So I think Jukes is
Barker
spun.
off.
Look. Sorry, look. Jukes. I think he's gone off. He's dropped a Uber time. Look, Jukes. He's suddenly getting caught massively on my booth, I think.
Dukes hasn't gone off, but Marcus is right behind Robson now. And he's
going
going
off.
off, he's going off.
Oh my goodness, this is fantastic. Off goes Marcus. Look how big the leader gap is. It's for 30 seconds already. 5 seconds between
The
Booth and
Flexbot is
Jukes.
right behind his move now.
That's what I'm
He's going for the
saying.
podium.
He is going to go for it on the last lap, I think. Yeah, they are on the last lap. He is going to go through. He is. Yes. Third. Yes. No, we're on the last lap. We are on the last lap. Flat out on the podium. He might get second. Look at Jukes. He's only just there. He's going to go for the second. Oh, this is fantastic on the last lap. Flats is going to try and take second. This has not gone well. At 30 seconds up front, he's going round the outside. Nothing Jukes can do in these appalling conditions. He's aquaplaning everywhere. This is absolutely remarkable here. Flat spun out, up to second. Look at his take the time out from the cars ahead. Barker's in
Barker also
10th.
behind Contender. He's going to take a position. If he can. There's Fish coming to the last quarters in a moment.
Fishhead through the last corner. Gingerly does it. Does not want to load those tyres up. Look at the gap closing behind. Fishhead takes an even more sizable lead in the championship as he aquaplanes it across the line to take victory here in a soggy race in Belgium.
Just about keeps it out of the wall. He's waiting for
And
flat spot
Marcus
now.
hit the wall.
If Pretender and Barker still having a battle.
Yeah, well,
I think Pretender will keep hold of 9th position.
will he?
What will he?
Yes, he will. Oh, will he?
Yes, he was just about.
Just about. Just about. So he crossed the line. There they go. Look how quickly. Look at the gap. Flat spun out. Closed that gap well done. Actually, I think that was in the end because I think he stopped at turn number 1. Actually, flat spun out and
Now FSR behind Duke.
oh, he's gone off. Last corner. Oh my goodness me! Surely not on the last corner. He's going to cover his ass. He's lost it. He's no. Frank's going to do it on the line. My goodness gracious me! On the last corner in here in Zolder. Jukes has lost it. He's down to 4th. Oh my goodness me! That is absolutely remarkable. Who's going to finish?
FSR on the podium on the last corner of the race. Remarkable, really.
Booth comes across the line. He'll finish 5th. Who is 6th? It is going to be Nezerin, I believe. Where is Nezerin? Let's go and have a look at him. There he is. Going through the gravel, and that's the last corner. He might lose a position here if he's not careful. Lobster is there, and Nezerin does get 6th.
He is safe.
Lobster 7th.
But Marcus and Contender out have already finished.
Yep, they have.
But still, what a conclusion to this race. Fish is your winner by 30 seconds almost.
Well, that is absolutely remarkable. Congratulations to Fishhead today with that victory here in Zolder for the Belgium Grand Prix. Ahead of Flat spun out, FSR in 3rd, Duke's 4th, Booth in 5th, Robster 6th, Nez is 7th, Marcos 8th, Pretender 9th, Barker is in 10th. Outside that top 10 is David Ben, of course, last of the only DNF'd in the end, and of course out this race Noah, who had issues. We had Cock, who had an issue as well, and of course the person who started in second position of Nick Nitro disconnecting again. What do you think of that race, Vetro?
There was a moment in the race where nothing was really going on, but when the rain went down, it really kicked off. I mean, a lot of different strategies, 0 stops, 1 stops, and you could really see in the long run, the people with the wet tires really started to get more to the front, just like Flat Spun Out demonstrated. And the people on the old tires really began to struggle. So it was really interesting to see, and this race is a good 7 out of 10.
Indeed. Well, I give that a strong 8 out of 10 for excitement throughout. Indeed, it was one of the most kinetic races on the last 20 minutes of us not knowing who is going to finish where. And indeed, it was a last lap gasp put on that finish line. That really did chill the race for me. Of course, we'll meet you next week, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in Watkins Glen, of course, for the penultimate round, and then final, of course, in Fuji. Until then, of course, I have been Evil Dragon XXL. Vectro has been Vectro666. Until next time, from in this completely beautiful country of Belgium, until next time, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.